Hi guys, welcome back. So, I'm going to, I think I did a video, but I don't know if I sent it. I don't know if we did it. I don't think that we did, or I would have seen it. Doesn't this mean you're supposed to come into some money? Elvis, knock it off. So, I booked a deal. Got boo-boos. So, I need to get my nails done later. But anyway, I'm going to jump in the shower a little bit. I wanted to touch bases real quick because I've noticed in a lot of my videos I talk very, well, I talk all over the place, but I mean, I bring up a little bit of some medical issues. So I'm going to briefly touch bases on that and let you guys kind of know the situation. And I'll try to do it as I quickly possibly can, which is hard for me because I'm a New Yorker. So anyway, almost 6 years ago now, I believe it's about 6 years ago now, back in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, yeah. 2014. I was home. It was 2 weeks before my son started school. I was home taking pictures. Back then I used to sell on eBay. I don't anymore, but I used to back then. Just like odds and ends of stuff. You know, like say I didn't want these guys anymore. I would take them down, clean them up, and put them on eBay. But anyway, I sold a lot of stuff on eBay, and I was actually taking pictures to put some stuff on eBay. I started to get this weird feeling in my hand, and I have anxiety depression disorder, and what a lot of people do, but my anxiety, unfortunately, sometimes gives me what I call dippy spells. My doctors way back in the day used to say that it was like mini strokes or mini seizures, because when I get these dippy spells, I can't catch up with the room. Like my eyes feel like they're looking at everything really fast, and the room is moving when it's not. And I can't walk straight. I walk kind of weird and sideways, and so I can't walk. I have to crawl. It's very tiresome. It takes a lot of energy out of you, and you're very tired afterwards. But you feel dippy. That's why I call them dippy spells. Your head feels like it's just not right. And I thought I was having a dippy spell, because they can come on at any given time. Like you can never tell when they're coming. And I thought I was having a dippy spell. So I yelled for Cody to come in, and I asked him to lay on the bed with me for a minute. Just sit with me. And I laid on the bed, and my hands went got all tight, and I call them the claw, like, you know, the claw hands. And I felt really weird. And originally I thought I was having a heart attack. But anyway, he called Joe at work. Joe came flying home from work. By the time Joe got home from work, I felt a lot better. I said, no, I'm going to take a nappy. So I took a nap, 3-hour nap, and I woke up. And I felt better, but I still didn't feel right. And I had a hard time breathing. So our neighbor across the street, at the time, Chrissy worked for Kaiser. And she's not a nurse, but she's been in the medical field. So I had her meet me out front. And she said to me, it sounds like you collapsed a lung. And I said, nah. Because I didn't do anything. I didn't lift anything. I didn't do anything. So she said, if you don't go to the ER, I'm going to call an ambulance. I live between two major hospitals. I'm not paying $500 to drive 5 minutes down the street. So Joe brought me to Sutter Solano. Loved my hospital. Best hospital in the world. Sutter Solano County Hospital. They are fantastic over there. Love them, love them, love them. Can't give enough shout outs to Sutter Solano. So anyway, I went over there. They wheeled me right in. They hooked me up to all this stuff. Nope, my heart was fine. Had no problems. I was like, oh, I feel a lot better now. Like, you know, I want to give you an IV. Hell to the no on that one. I'm not good with shots. Yes, I know. You see all this ain't the same. Okay. Not good with IVs. Not good with blood work. Ain't good with needles, period. So they wanted to do some x-rays. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, you do the x-rays. Something's wrong with me. Then we'll talk about the IV. So they did x-rays and they came back. And sure enough, my left lung did collapse. Not all the way, but it did. I did have a slight collapse. So there was an ER doctor on call at the time named Dr. Mojadidi. He's a lung surgeon, whatever. He came in and put he made a little incision above my Cody tattoo and put a tube down into my lung. And I had this little box on my chest for 5 days. They sent me home that day for 5 days. And that little tube actually sucks out the air. Like, you know, allows the rest of the air to relieve from the collapsed lung so that you can reinflate. Like a balloon. So, all was good. Moved forward 2 years. On my 49th birthday, I wasn't feeling very good that day. I was actually feeling okay, but Went to lay down to go to just relax, and I was having a hard time. I was having some pains in my back. Completely different feeling this time, but I was having some pains in my back, and I was a little short of breath, and I didn't feel right enough to say, Joe, I need you to take me to the ER. So I went to the hospital. Again, they wheeled me right into the back because they look at your history, and they had seen that I had a lung collapse on the left side. So didn't see anything. So they take me in for a CT with and without contrast. Sure enough, my lung has collapsed slightly. But during that process, they found a little spot on my kidneys. So anyway, they admitted me because they couldn't send me home due to the fact that if I came home and both my lungs collapsed in the middle of the night, it would kill me. So they couldn't send me home. So they sent me to ICU with oxygen to hopefully see if that would heal it. Because sometimes oxygen by itself can heal a slight collapsed lung. So I went to ICU, didn't work. I was there for 24 hours, didn't work. On my birthday, no less, didn't work. So they decided to do an elective surgery. Emergency surgery, they call it, because you're in the hospital, obviously. Even though it was an emergency. So I went in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday came. They wheeled me to the ER, or to the operating room. I go in, I get an operation. Dr. Lanfleece was my doctor. He was a surgeon on call at that time. I don't remember much, but I do remember them bringing me down. And I said goodbye to my son, my husband, blah, blah, blah. I took my rings off. Blah, blah, blah. I came out. I went crazy for a minute, and then I fell back to sleep. And then I came back out of it, and I was back in my room. And so they, what they do is they cut open. It's called the pleurodesis. What they do is they cut you open, they go in microscopically, they scrape the lung lining, your lung wall lining thing. They scrape your lung lining, whatever, your chest cavity wall. I forget the exact procedure or how it's done. But anyway, they glue your lung open. Okay, so they glue your lung open, and then they shove 2 tubes in there, and they have them sticking out of you for 5 days. So this is a little bit more invasive than the little tubey thing. So they shoved those tubes in, and so Dr. Lanfleece did that. I had 2 tubes sticking out for 5 days. Needless to say, that was not fun, and it wasn't comfortable, and it was very painful. And at the end of the 5 days, they just ripped those suckers right out. Take a deep breath in, breathe out hard, and out they come. They rip them out. So that was not fun either. So, but I felt so much better when they came out, because now you can get up and move around, because you can't even use the toilet. You got to use the side commode. So you got to like get up out of bed and watch your tubes and go potty and then go back to bed. So it wasn't fun. So needless to say, I wasn't really hungry either. So that was all good, done. So I get home. A month later, I'm feeling a little off. I feel this knocking in my side. I'm like, what the hell? So I called Dr. Lanfleece. He sends me in for a chest x-ray. My left lung now collapsed again. So this is the second time on the left side. My left lung collapsed again. I was not in the mood to go in for another surgery a month later, not to mention already knowing what I was getting into, right? So I told him, no, I will take it easy. He said, just relax, take it easy. Don't lift anything heavy. Don't do anything, blah, 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 blah. It should hopefully heal on its own. But you're going to continue to probably have this problem. Okay, whatever. So I let it go. I didn't do anything for like a week or so. I started to feel better. I felt better, blah, blah, blah. It all heals. I'm good. I go back. I'm good. Fast forward to 2018. Halloween, my favorite time of the year. We are set up on for Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Nightmare Island Haunt, which is called Nightmare Island Haunt on Mare Island in Vallejo. At the time, we were doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday setup. I set up my table. We brought animals for the weekends. Joe played Jason inside the haunt. Wasn't feeling right. Felt it kind of strange. Called my lung specialist, Dr. Lou. Love Dr. Lou. He's been my specialist since 2016. So I called Dr. Lou. Dr. Lou, I ain't feeling really right. Something's not right. He sends me for a chest x-ray. My left lung collapsed again. So this time, I had shit to do. I've already been on this horsey. Not the first time. Knew what to do. And I had expos to do, animals to take care of and get situated. And I had to go to Costco and get toilet paper. And I had the haunt to finish out the month. and we had an expos in November. So the guy that does your your chest X-rays comes in and goes, or he came back and said, you know, but your lung has collapsed. You need to go to ER to be admitted. I said, I can't. I got stuff to do. Let me call Dr. Lou. He called Dr. Lou. Dr. Lou, you know, blah, blah, blah. He knows I'm very stubborn. Comes back and says, look, you really need to go to the ER. I said, no, I can't. Really, I can't. I promise when I'm done with all my stuff, I will come in and we will do a planned surgery. I just can't do it right now. So needless to say, I came home, and for almost 2 months, I walked around with my lung not 100%. It started to heal and get better, but I still had that little issue. And it wasn't this time it wasn't going back 100%. So, because of all the damage already done, my lungs are damaged. So, and by the way, there is no rhyme or reason for this. It is called a spontaneous lung collapse or a pneumothorax. And there is no reason for it. It just happens. And unfortunately, it normally doesn't happen in 5'1" women. It happens in tall, skinny, slinky men. Go figure. I don't look like a tall, skinny, slinky man. At least not yet I don't. Maybe when I get older, I'll look more like a man. But anyway, so needless to say, I had to go back in for an elective surgery, which again, I already know what I'm in for. I'm not looking forward to it. But this time I get to pick my surgeon. So I go back and pick Dr. Mojadidi because he does 1 tube instead of 2. So I don't want the 2 tubers. I want the 1 tuber. So I picked Dr. Mojadidi. I went back to see him. We got everything situated. Oh, and by the way, the little spot on my kidney is just still the little spot on my kidney. Nothing ever became of that as of today. That could change. So this time with the chest x-rays, they see a spot on my lung after, was it after the surgery? No, it was before the surgery. I can't remember now. I've done so many fucking chest x-rays and all this other kinds of crap. So anyway, back to the situation at hand. So I go in, I have my surgery done, 1 tube, same thing, different. So anyway, I get that done. I'm only in the hospital, thank God, this time a week instead of 2. At the end of those days, out it comes, still hurts, shit, doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2. So now I have matching scars on both sides, just one I have 2, one I have, and then the other one I have 1. So I have little indentations. So both my lungs are now glued open. And I have an inhaler that I take. It's not for asthma. It's actually, because I had, now it's, technically it's called I have COPD. But what form of COPD I have now, or that I will have when I get older, is going to be emphysema. So, I take my inhaler when I need it. But now, in the last year, I've been getting these pains, really bad pains down here. And it goes up into my shoulder. It hits my shoulder blade. And it's hard to breathe. It hurts. Like so I tell Dr. Lou and I go back, I'm thinking, oh my God, I thought I was never going to be able to have a lung collapse again, but what the hell's going on? So I go back, I'm actually doing my CT scan. I'm doing another CT scan, tomorrow, which this probably won't be out by the time I'm in and out of there. So anyway, and I do a lung breathe test once a year to see how my lungs are, what percentage they're at. Believe it or not, as crappy as I sound sometimes, they're actually pretty good still. So my lungs are damaged, but you know, what are you going to do? So the next step would be is if I couldn't, you know, whatever if God forbid it was something serious, I'd have to have a lung transplant. But I don't think I'll get to that point. I'll probably be dead before that. But anyway, so I do take my inhaler when I need it. You can see when I have to breathe in deep, it's a little harder. So I do take my inhaler for that. I can talk a lot when I'm standing still, but if I'm moving around doing it, I get de-winded real quickly. That's why I don't move around a lot when I'm doing videos, or try not to do a lot of exercise, you know, heavy duty stuff. So anyway, so now I do have a spot on my lung. I can't remember if that was before or after, but I do have a spot on my lung. That has stayed the same. That hasn't changed. But now what Dr. Lou thinks may be happening is he thinks I may actually be getting arthritis in my bones, in my rib bones, from the procedures. Because when they go in with those tubes, unfortunately, they're not very kind about it. They shove them in and they hit a lot of nerves and they do a lot of damage. Matter of fact, I don't have any feeling right here on this side. I mean, I can feel it, but it feels like when your foot falls asleep, it tingles. Well, it feels like that on the sides. So he thinks that I might be actually, I might be having some kind of arthritis. So I have a prescription for pain pills. My thing, but I also have a prescription for pain pills. But I'm going in for my CT tomorrow to double check and see what's, if there is anything else going on in there. But I'll tell you, it's been a weird situation. I would have never thought, yes, and I used to be a smoker. I'm no longer a smoker, but they did say that it really didn't have anything to do with that because they have patients that have never smoked a day in their life that have the same problem as me. The only thing is Dr. Lou has never had a patient have so many lung collapses within a period of time. Usually if you get a lung collapse, it's done over with, whatever, but there was a reason. And I still get bubbles. So what it is, basically, what a lung collapse is your chest cavity forms air bubbles. And when they pop, they put pressure on your lung, therefore collapse your lung. So that's what happened. So, sounds like Joe's home. So that's it for this one. So, until next time, guys, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And until then, see you later, alligator.